The Knicks postgame show is presented by Tri-State Audi. Visit your Tri-State area Audi dealer today. The Knicks get excellent performances from just about everybody. Deuce McBride, 15 of his 21 in the first quarter. Karl-Anthony Towns tonight had 26. And OG Anunoby filled up the box score with 24 points, 7 rebounds, and a career-high 8 assists as the Knicks crown the Kings tonight, 133-104. Great to have you with us from our Delta MSG studios. Bill Pidto here, along with Alan Hahn. And Tom Thibodeau, Alan, has talked about the fact that the Knicks need help from everybody to compensate for the loss of Jalen Brunson. And tonight they got help from everybody.
Pretty much everyone had a hand in this game. It started with Deuce McBride setting a tone early, but the wings all played really well. Josh Hart, let's not forget what he did. He knocked down 4 3-pointers. The threes were a big part of the story. We did talk about that in the pregame, how basically for the Knicks in the All-Star break, the three-point line has been a deficit for them. Well, they dominated the three-point line in this game, but this was more about, to me, a defensive tone that is continuing to be set on this road trip. What the Knicks have done defensively is exactly what you would expect from a Tom Thibodeau team. Against the Lakers, held them under 43%. The Clippers at 42%, and now Sacramento under 42% when it comes to defensive field goal percentage. If the Knicks are going to do anything when we get to the postseason, when they really want to show you what they can be as a team once they're whole again, defense is going to get them where they want to go, and it's good to see that start to become more of a trend for this team.
Speaking of trends, how about OG Anunoby scoring? For the last 5 now, for the last 5 games for him, he scored at least 20, and tonight he went for 24.
Yeah, he's been locked in, and when he gets locked in, I always say when his shirt's untucked, when the jersey's untucked, you know something good's happened with OG Anunoby because he was a monster at both ends of the floor in this game. I loved his movement. We talked about this earlier, his ability to get to the basket, but his activity was great. But look at this, just reading. This is a bad pass, reads it, takes it strong, and gets the finish. The Knicks, once again, points off turnovers. 24 points off turnovers. Here's another one as he reads this play, jumps all over Levine, and takes that in for an easy 2 as well. And this was such a great sequence. On this play here, he'll space out for the 3 and knock this one down. On that sequence, the Knicks had a 24-second violation, that steal, and then another 24-second violation. Let's not forget the ball movement from OG as well with the assist there, as he had 8 of those. And then again, just like he gets the ball, and you can see what he's doing. He is looking at the rim. He's looking to attack. He's much more engaged offensively, I think, since the All-Star break. He's been a different player. He's been exactly what the Knicks need. And when you're down a star player like Jalen Brunson, that's the kind of performance you need from a guy like Anunoby, from Bridges, from everybody, like you said, that have to make up the difference for missing on a player like that.
Before we go any further, I've got to mention the three-point shooting. 22 of 40 for the Knicks.
Huge.
That was your stat of the night. They've been outscored by an average of 8 points per game since the All-Star break from 3. They had a plus 36 shooting from downtown, and that really helped as the Knicks go 22 of 40. They tie for the second most made threes in franchise history. Mikal Bridges, he also contributed to the win. He had 8 assists to tie a season high, and also had 15 points.
Yeah, and again, from the wings, you're getting the activity you're looking for. And while Bridges wasn't nearly as impactful as he was in the game against the Clippers, he did shoot the ball well, but he doesn't get a lot of shots up. We know he loves that little fadeaway mid-range. That was early on. But remember who he was guarding in this game as well, was Zach LaVine. That's not an easy guard for him. LaVine had got 30 points in 2 games against the Knicks earlier this season. When he was playing for the Bulls, he didn't do anything this game. He had 17 points. He had 5 turnovers. So while we're showing a lot of offense and a lot of passing with Mikal Bridges, I want to shout out the defense that he played against the guy who has torched the Knicks this season in Zach LaVine. That's exactly why he and Anunoby, their impacts are so important. You see that intensity, too. You love to see that. But the wing players made a big impact in this game. They need these guys to step up. This is the time of year now where everybody has to understand their role and take it to another level. Josh Hart said it after the Jalen Brunson injury. He said, guys' roles are going to expand. Guys need to step up, and that's what you're seeing now. And they needed these couple of days off after the Clipper game, to just figure out how they have to play now without Jalen Brunson. And you could see they certainly figured something out because Sacramento had no answers for them.
I mentioned Deuce McBride had 15 of his 21 in the first quarter. Knicks, after the first quarter, were up 37-22. Huge start for McBride because he came into this game only 2 for his last 19, and tonight in the game he hit 7 of 11.
Yeah, and again, for McBride, it was important for him to get off to a good start because he had struggled. And you got to understand, the injury happened in one game, and you had 24 hours to play the next game. They put him in the starting lineup. His shooting wasn't there. You hear the crowd. This is on the road. Everywhere he goes, he gets support all around the NBA. And so how could you not just feel comfortable? He found himself in a rhythm. He was definitely in attack mode, and I think that was important for him. I think against the Clippers, he was thinking so much about setting up the offense and setting up his teammates rather than just ball. And that's what he did in this game, and it was a great tone setter because once he started scoring, it opened up the offense, and as you saw in a couple of those plays there, other guy starts cutting, he starts making passes, the next thing you know, everybody's involved.
All right, so the Knicks snapped their 3-game losing streak. We now say hello to Monica McNutt. She helped call the game on the radio on ESPN New York.
I'm going to stop you right there, Pidto.
What?
Hold
what?
on.
What?
I just heard Hahn say Monica was right.
No, I didn't hear that.
Yes, I did. I heard exactly
that
because he said, yes, he did. He said Deuce was caught up in facilitating in the start versus the Clippers, and he had to play with confidence. And what did I say pregame?
That's what Monica said.
You got to be patient because he had to facilitate, and we got to get back to scoring.
Well, I got to tell you, Allen's three-point shooting stat of the night was key. Three-point shooting was – wait.
I was on the offensive side, Pidto. Hahn was on the defensive side. Together, Hahn, fist bump. We got it done.
Wonder Twins. Listen, but Monica, that's to me the way this game started was it just showed you 2 days between games, you just reset, you figure it out, and the way they played, you could tell it was like they just needed that day. It's so hard to go from back-to-back games, you lose your star player, and you got to go out there and play, and you really haven't thought about a game plan. It definitely looked like they figured something out in the 2 days off to say, okay, we got to play this way without Jalen Brunson, because not only did McBride attack, it seemed like Anunoby, Bridges, it seemed like everybody was looking to be aggressive in the offense, and especially, I thought, defensively as well.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said that, Hahn, because I think that is the part to me that over this road trip we've seen take a step in terms of growing.
Yep.
We had Karl-Anthony Towns after when did we have him for media? I guess we had him after the Clippers game. He was asked about the team's defensive intensity. And I think we could all see OG Anunoby guarding Luka Doncic, OG Anunoby when he had to guard, and Mikal Bridges to a degree when they had to guard either Harden or Kawhi Leonard. And so when he was asked after practice before this team headed up to Sacramento, he said, look, that's the area where we know we have to be better and we have to put a little bit more energy into it. I asked him, had anything changed? Was there any big rah-rah moment that they had in the locker room? And he said no, but we know what we're capable of doing. And so as gaudy as the 55% from the three-point line and the 22 threes is, and we love that, chef's kiss to that, this team has a full understanding that it's going to be its defense that helps them get it done down the stretch of the season. Deuce McBride said that to us on the radio in his post-game interview, and obviously I just shared that Karl-Anthony Towns echoed those same sentiments earlier this week.
Monica, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, it's just something to build off of because points off turnovers has been a strength of this team even before injuries and everything else. I mean, that was something they really did well. But was there something you saw in this game that looked different that you thought, okay, this is something they can definitely build off of while playing, life without Jalen Brunson?
Well, there was a play in particular, I think I saw it twice that I could think of. One time Karl-Anthony Towns ended up at the free throw line courtesy of it, and the other time he sprayed the pass out from the gut of the paint to the corner, OG Anunoby 3. And it's a little bit of a give-and-go action that we're seeing with Cat at the top of the key, and then he dives hard. Now, look, I will put an asterisk, if you will, for the back-to-back for the Sacramento Kings because their defense since the All-Star break has been improved. But nobody cries over anybody having a back-to-back. That's part of what you deal with in the league. And so I think tonight you saw a couple of different guys get involved in the pick-and-roll action, which is one wrinkle. And then I really love that give-and-go from Karl-Anthony Towns with him going downhill, whether that is for him to finish or we know that he's a willing passer and we see the ball get out to the perimeter to find those open three-point shooters.
Free throw shooting behind you, Monica.
Yeah, Monica.
Show them the technique that you have shown us that doesn't work so well for you.
Pidto, you gotta chill. You know you lying.
All right. Have a great trip to Portland. We'll talk to you on Wednesday night.
Sounds good, y'all.
I've seen her play horse.
I mean, she beat all of us.
I know. Tom Thibodeau's post-game comments coming up. Knicks now 41-23 overall and 20-12 on the road.
The Knicks postgame show is presented by Audi. Visit your tri-state Audi dealer today.
Game 4 of the 5-game road trip at Portland Wednesday. Pregame at 9:30, game at 10. Knicks blow out the Kings tonight, 133-104. Tom Thibodeau's postgame comments presented by Chess.
Yeah, I thought, all around, the defense very good, the rebounding very good, sharing the ball, taking care of the ball. I think those things were huge for us. Defensive activity, the 13 steals, and then getting into the open floor, getting those easy baskets. Really good. I thought Mitch had great impact on the game. I thought OG was phenomenal. Mikal, same. A lot of playmaking, and then Deuce really gave us a great game, all-around game, start to finish.
Coach Thibodeau, you just mentioned it. The Knicks forced 16 turnovers. They got 13 steals. Okay, those are all takeaways, all takeaway possession. How was that done?
I'm sorry.
How was it done?
Just overall defensive activity. I think being tied together, and they're a hard team to guard, and so you got to fly around. You got to make a second, third effort, and when you do that, and for us, that's got to be our way. That's as I mentioned earlier, we're not replacing Jalen individually. We can't, but we can do it collectively. So if we play like that, we'll have a chance.
Well, offensively, McBride got you off in the first quarter. He couldn't miss.
Yeah, and I like how I thought the entire team generated shots for each other, because their activity is a lot, and then they also have versatility where they can go to switching, and then you got to read the switches and you got to keep moving. And so I thought that we did a good job with that. Valanciunas' size at the rim, but then the game changes with Lyles at center, and it's more switching, and you got to read. And then I thought we generated good shots too. I think 22 for 40 from three, right? So that's guys working together to create those shots, and that's important.
Do you think it's a coincidence, like you mentioned, the offense was moving, cutting, extra pass, but it started with setting the tone defensively and getting easy shots and just having this kind of
well, I think to win on the road, there's three things you have to do to put yourself in position to win. You have to defend, you have to rebound, you have to keep your turnovers down. The first thing is eliminate all the ways in which you beat yourself. And then you go from there. And if you do those three things, regardless of how well you shoot the ball, you're going to have a chance to win the game. So we have to understand that. And when we do that, we're a very good team.
How good was it for Josh to get his three-point shot falling? Good.
And just his all-around play, had a really good spirit to him, good energy. And so I think that guys were feeding off each other, which, we need to do.
How much did the 18 first half assists kind of just get the offense going, spraying the ball?
Yeah, well, I think a lot of it more was from the defense, the activity, and then we can get up the floor and then just read the game. And I think when you're doing that and you're passing up good shots to get great ones, you're going to get rhythm. And when you get rhythm, the game's a lot easier.
OG is usually pretty stoic, and he looked like today he was aggressive and celebrating it.
Yeah, he had great energy, a lot of spirited plays. Like, he was everywhere. And, DeMar is about as tough a cover as you're going to have in this league, and Zach is right there with him. So you got two guys that are, very, very dynamic, and if they have any seams and your body position is off, they're going to make you pay, and so, and then, Monk he's had a monster season for them as well, so they're a load to deal with on the perimeter, and Ellis is terrific. He's one of the most underrated guys in the league.
Coach mentioned Josh Hart in his comments. Worth pointing out that he tied a season-high Hart with 4 made threes and scored 18 points. Didn't load up a ton of rebounding, did have 6 rebounds, but the 3-ball was important.
Yes, because teams are going to leave him open, and when you have ball movement, a lot of times you're going to find the open man, and Josh Hart, several times the open man. His shooting has been an issue for the last couple of weeks. He's dealing with the knee, and so for him, balance is everything, but you can see here a little more where he's not hesitating when he catches the basketball. He's catching it ready to shoot. Now, again, all the little activity stuff that he does is so fantastic because he never just stands still. But those shots right there, when they have that ball movement and you're getting around the horn and he's open, you see he's not hesitating. A few games ago, I noticed that he'd catch the ball and there was a lot of hesitation on his part. That's not happening now. Look at this step back from Josh Hart. How about that? So him knocking down 4 threes, yeah, point to the bench. I mean, all that stuff's important. He always impacts the game in some way that whatever is needed, he does it. So whether it's a 20-rebound performance, whether it's sometimes it's his defense and steals, or whether it's a game like this where he's open, he's got to knock down threes, that is always what Josh Hart brings. And it was good to see him, just like I said, Bill, not hesitate. Because we were starting to see him do that a couple weeks ago.
Teams are laying off of him and clogging things up. If you have to guard Hart from downtown, that changes the offense.
Of course. Well, and Nick Nurse learned that in the first round last year of the playoffs, right? Remember how they played it where he was leaving him open. Like, we're going to let you shoot, and we're going to bet that you can't make those shots. And all he did was just kill them with those threes that he knocked down in that series. And so we know he has it in him. He can do it. But as I mentioned, about a week ago, right after the All-Star break, he looked like, again, the knee bothered him coming out of the break. So you have to think about that. But he would be open, the ball would get to him, and he was not attacking, he was hesitant, and you can't be like that because you're feeding into how they're playing you. This game, he showed you that he's going to catch it, be aggressive, looking at the rim, and he knocked down. That's 4 big threes for him to knock down, 18 points.
Yeah, he went 4 of 6, Josh Hart from downtown. Welcome back, everyone. Boston won tonight. Knicks beat the Kings, so the Knicks remain 5.5 games behind the Celtics for second place in the East. Josh Hart, 18 in the Knicks win. Here he is now after the game.
Josh, Coach was just talking about how much the defense fuels the offense. How much did you see that affecting the way this game turned out?
Yeah, for sure. Obviously that's a very skilled offensive team. So, we knew we had to make sure we locked in on the game plan, got stops, and then, ran.
How does it feel for your three-point shot to go down tonight?
Yeah, it felt good, man. I needed a game like that. Shooting pre-shoot arounds. I'm there, hour and a half early. Getting shots up. So, it just felt good to have a game like that. Obviously, help with confidence, and then, I got to keep building off of it.
It felt like you guys were moving well without the ball, good spacing, good cutting. Is there anything different, or was it you guys just more turning defense into offense, help kind of get things rolling?
I think a little bit of both, turning defense to offense, just playing fast. We got extremely skilled guys, and I think playing fast, definitely with JB out, fits us very well. So that's just something that we were trying to do.
Josh, 3 straight games now where you guys held opponents in the low 40s. What are you seeing on the defensive end?
JB's not out there. So, we have a great game plan and we're going out there and we're executing. Trying to be physical, trying to just make it tough for teams. And then, with our, pretty good rebounding the ball, and then when we get stops and rebound, that's quick and easy baskets for us. So it's just something we're trying to do.
Back now from the corner 3, presented by Michelob Ultra, some Pure Light beer. So Josh Hart says the defense has been better the last handful of games because Jalen Brunson's out.
Man.
That's cold.
That's cold.
Man.
Guy's dealing with enough, but that's obviously what friends do. But what I love about what Josh Hart is doing there is the tone he sets and the leadership that he shows. I mean, we mentioned it in the pregame show as well. It was the game after the injury to Brunson, and the first thing Josh Hart said was that we all got to step up. We all, our roles are going to expand, and everybody's got to step up. And then he backs it up with a 20-rebound performance career high. And then he backs it up again by shooting a 3 and making sure that he's aggressive, looking for his shot and knocking it down. Josh Hart is a leader on this team.
And he had an excellent game. In fact, every Knicks starter was in double figures, had at least 15 points in terms of every Knicks starter tonight. We're taking a look ahead after this. All right, so the Knicks are at Portland Wednesday. They're against the Warriors Saturday. You can listen to that game on ESPN New York. That's a national TV broadcast. And the Knicks are back home Monday against the Heat, and then they go on the road for a back-to-back against the Spurs and the Hornets. We will be back to wrap things up right after this. So next up for the Knicks, they'll be at Portland on Wednesday. The pregame comes away at 9:30. Game at 10. You can also stream our coverage on NBC Plus, now in the Gotham Sports app. Want more than just a post-game show? Link your eligible TV subscription to stream Knicks games free or subscribe today in the Gotham Sports app. Just go to gothamsports.tv to learn more.